Hello there, my frugal friends. How are you all doing? I hope you're all doing well. If you've not been here before, I'm Samantha. This is the channel Trying to Get By, because that's what we're doing, trying to get by with what we have got. So we are being frugal, we are being careful, and we are making sure that the money stretches to the end of the month. This video is going to be a little bit different than the normal videos. I took a little break a few weeks back. I had a bit of YouTube fatigue, I was calling it, and just trying to come up with ideas for different videos. And I put it on the community page and asked for some suggestions. And one of the suggestions was to do a getting to know you video. So that's what we're doing today. So I asked again on the community for some questions on what did you want to know about me. So I've written down the questions, and that's what we're going to start with. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a cup of tea though, because you can't start a chat without having some kind of brew involved. So we'll have a nice cup of tea. I've boiled more than I needed in the kettle, mostly because, bang the door. My air fryer needs cleaning. So I've put a dishwasher tablet in there, and I'm just going to pour the boiling water in to melt that. So that's just going to give that mucky thing a bit of a soak. Yes, I have got a new kettle and a new toaster for those who are eagle-eyed and have noticed, because we did used to have a silver one. Asda, £54 for both of them, not too bad. Yes, we saved up. We have a little household fund that we put money away for if we need anything for the house, for if anything breaks. And our kettle and toaster were near the end of their life, so we decided to splash out with our saved funds and get a new one. So that's that. Anyway, first question from Lynn, while I'm making my cup of tea, is what led me to being a great cook? I wouldn't say I'm great. I'm all right. I can come up with some decent ideas, but I'm certainly no Gordon Ramsay. Although, would I really want to be Gordon Ramsay? I'm not a Gordon fan. Anyway, so cooking. I do love cooking. Cooking is it's almost like therapy for me. I like to cook and I like to bake, and the main reason I like cooking is because I like eating. Food is delicious. I bake for therapy. I cook for the pleasure of eating. So how did I become a great cook, or a decent cook? Well, I have done some classes. My main interest started because I just loved watching cooking shows. I just love the process of watching other people doing things, cooking. So I will spend a lot of time watching Food Network or YouTube channels, and Chris will go, oh God, not another cooking program. But a few years back, so 2017, I did a college course. I went back to college and did 2 years of cooking. It's meant to be a full-time course, but full-time's not really full-time anymore in college courses. I think I did about 12 hours a week. So I could still work at the same time. So that was pretty decent. And I was the oldest person there, hanging out with teenagers who had literally just finished GCSEs or had maybe already done 1 year's worth of training. So 16 and 17-year-olds. And in the final year, it was me and 5 teenage boys. I was kitchen mum, confessor and listener for all their woes and troubles. But we had a really great time, and I learned lots of good skills. I'm still not brilliant with my knife skills. I can chop an onion pretty well. I know what a brunoise is and all those kind of technical terms for cutting and dicing things up. But generally, I still cut and dice a similar sort of way that I did originally, because I just stick to the ways that I know. And I'm not practicing those skills all the time. I'm not in a kitchen with, learning to be a chef in a kitchen. I still class myself as a cook. But mostly it's the way I've learned is just trial and error. And by listening to all the different programs, I kind of have a sense sometimes of what will go with what. Like, I knew for some reason I made a mushroom risotto recently, and I kind of thought tarragon's going to go with that. I don't recall ever seeing mushrooms and tarragon together. I might have done, but I just ended up putting them together and they pretty much worked. So for me, if I had to say anything to anybody out there who was looking and wanting to learn more about cooking, watch lots of cooking shows and try out your ideas. You never know what's going to work unless you have a go at it. She said, who did I learn from? Well, like I say, I learned from my college teachers, and I've learned from watching all those different TV programmes. My favourites are, I've got to say, you can't go wrong with a good Delia Smith. Her recipes are faultless. I also like watching Diners, Drive-Ins and Dives. It's indulgent television because I'm not going to eat half the things that he shows because they're meat-based, but I do get some really nice ideas off there as well. I love MasterChef Australia. That is my absolute favourite one to watch. It's annoying for me though because I follow MasterChef Australia on Facebook, and so I have to snooze it round about end of March time because they will be playing it in Australia and we won't get it till September, so I don't want to find out who wins. Right, I'm going to get on with my cup of tea and then we'll answer some more questions. We're in the living room now. It's not a room I often come into on these videos, but I thought it'd be nice to have a bit of a sit down while I'm doing the rest of this recording. So TB asked me how I met Chris. Well, there's a story for you. So I first met Chris coming up for, it'll be 30 years ago this year. I was a young teenager doing my Saturday job at Boots, the chemist. I basically, from about 16 till I was in my mid-20s, I worked there as a, you know, how they used to call it, a Saturday girl. So I worked there while I was a student, all through the holidays, different times, but mostly on a Saturday. And Chris was got a job there in 94. So I'd been there a few years, and he started working in the same department as me. And we became really good friends. And we would go on mate dates, as we would call them, to the cinema, to the seaside, all sorts of different things. However, I didn't realise that Chris had a massive crush on me. And I then ended up dating someone else. I left Boots and we lost touch. And it wasn't until, so I left Boots in 97. I think I'd bumped into him again in 99 in the Trafford Centre, which is a local shopping mall not far from us. And then I didn't see him again until I got bored one weekend and decided to go on Facebook. This is in 2016, so we're talking a good 17 years later. So 2016, I'm on Facebook looking up people who I haven't seen for years, and I decided to look him up. I friend requested him on the Sunday. He accepted the friend request on the Monday. We chatted backwards and forwards on Messenger on the Monday. And it was like talking to an old, a dear old friend. It was absolutely lovely. And so I invited him to come round on the Tuesday to come and have some lunch, so we could catch up. And then he never left. Yes, he stayed. We chatted well into the night, so it was too late for him to go home. He was living with his mum at the time because he'd been looking after his dad, who sadly had Alzheimer's and passed away. And so he was still there at his mum's at the time. And that was it. He stayed, and then he stayed, and then he stayed, and we decided that was it. We knew we were meant to be together. And within about 4 weeks, we had gone to the registry office and put our notification of marriage on. And we officially got engaged, as in I got a ring on the 1st of December. So this was August. Yeah, very end of August. August bank holiday weekend was when we first got together. We got officially engaged on the 1st of December and we got married on the 4th of April. And we are coming up to, 3rd of April. not the 4th. Oh, it's the 3rd of the 4th. Always confuses me. I end up thinking the 4th of the 3rd. 3rd of the 4th, we will have been married for 7 years. So it was a whirlwind that took 20 odd years to happen. But when it happened, we knew it was the right thing to do. And I can't imagine life with anybody else. So that is our little story. And yeah, it's a lovely one, and I love it, and it makes my heart sing. I just had another little sip of my tea. So Linda asked, best value dates. We don't really go on dates, not that much. We like to do things with the dog. So often, when we had Archie, our lovely border collie, we would go on walks. We would go to different parks around the Northwest. So we have been to parks in Bury and Bolton and Prestwich and Preston and all sorts, there's all sorts of parks you can go to that are amazing. Some are small ones, some are big. So we go to Heaton Park. We've done Wythenshawe Park. We love taking the dogs for a nice long walk. And if we're going to be out over lunchtime, we will take some sandwiches. So that makes it a bit of a cheaper date, I suppose. The other thing we like to do is we will go to friends of ours and we will play board games. Absolutely love board games. Not the traditional ones although I do love a good game of Monopoly or Cluedo. These are games based on films and books that we enjoy. So we play Terry Pratchett's The Witches board game, The Thing, the sci-fi film, Alien, we play that one, Firefly, which is based on a TV series that only ran for 1 season, but it's got a massive cult following. It's one of my favourite series, which is brilliant. So we play that one as well. There are some that we started to play. There's a Battlestar Galactica game that we started to play, but we need someone who's played it before to help us out. So that's something else we really enjoy. We will do jigsaws as well together. So, take time away from the television of an evening or of a weekend, and we'll do some jigsaws. And we don't pay for our jigsaws. Our local library has stacks and stacks of jigsaws that you can borrow, which is brilliant. So we borrow a jigsaw, do the jigsaw, take it back, trade it in for a new one. And that's something else that we do as well. If we're going to do anything that is, I suppose, a little bit more date-like, then we will probably go for a meal. But we don't tend to go for extravagant meals. It's something that's, sort of mid-range, but we've saved up for it. We've got a budget for it. So that's the way that we cover doing that sort of thing. We did go to the theatre recently, which is not something we do very often at all. I'd love to do it more, but it can get so expensive. We went to see Buffy revamped. So Buffy the Vampire Slayer was a TV series that I loved. But I have to say that wasn't a date really, because we brought a friend with us. And so we really enjoyed that. But I would like to do a little bit more theatre, but it's trying to get the prices down. Obviously, weekend or daytime prices are often cheaper, but you can spend £40-50 on a decent theatre ticket. So that rocks up as, it can be rocking up for £100 for 2 of us. And generally, if you're going out to the theatre, you might want to have a little something to eat before you go, and then you've added on that, and then also transport to get there. We don't take taxis because that's far too expensive. When we went to the theatre recently, we took the bus. £2 there, £2 home. Not too bad at all. Right, life outside the kitchen is what somebody asked. What else do we do? Or what else do I do? So I used to work at a nursery full time. I've worked in the nursery rooms. I'm a qualified teacher. I did used to teach. For 13 years I taught primary school, mostly younger children, so reception age, so the 4-5-year-olds. Those were my favourite age to teach. Really enjoyed that. Did it for about 13 years and then had a bit of a burnout session. Just had a really bad time that final year and decided to take a break from it. And then at that time, I was doing a lot of things for my mum. So I was looking after her and doing various things for her. So I took a bit of time off during that time. And then ended up going to a nursery and working in the preschool room, which was really, really enjoyable. And I've kind of started there in 2013 and have left a couple of times and gone back, but gone back in different roles. I have worked in the kitchen there. So after when I was doing after I'd done my training at college, I ended up going in the kitchen at the nursery, and I did that for a while. And right now I still do some work for the nursery when they need me to. So I'm more of a, what would you call me, a ad hoc worker there. So I do that, but I also do stuff for my dad. My mum passed away a few years back, so my dad is on his own. So I do all his appointments and take him shopping, which I'm sure you've heard me talk about when I'm doing my grocery videos, and do all his medical things because he's got quite a few medical issues. So we're backwards and forwards to hospital appointments and doctor's appointments. So I do a lot of that. So I don't work as much as I used to. So that's one of the reasons why I started doing these videos, was because our money ended up being a little bit tighter than it used to be. So that's one of the reasons we're budgeting a little bit better than we used to. Hello, Smarties. Sorry, I'll just show you down there. Smarties come to say hello. So outside of work, I've got a daughter. I adopted her when she was 7, so that's a good few years back, but she's going to be turning 25 this year. She's got my grandson as well, called Elijah. They're both amazing people. Love them to bits, but they live a couple of hours away from us, so we don't get to see them as often as we would like to. But we speak a lot. We use FaceTime a lot so that we can have our little chats, and I can say hello to my grandson and he can blow me kisses, which is always warms my heart. Right, Go Lightly asked me, what do I like reading? My favourite books are these. This is my collection of Joanne Fluke. Yes, all the way. Move those. All the way. All the way. If she's got a new book out, yes, I have got them all. They are the only series of books that I have absolutely kept. The reason I like these is they are murder mysteries, but let me give you an example. So peach cobbler murder. There is a recipe for peach cobbler in here. And in fact, part way through, there are even more recipes in there as well. So they are great. So not only do I get the bonus of recipes, I get a really good story as well. And there's even, if I can get that book back in. Why is it when you're trying to put something back one-handed, it doesn't work? There is even a Joanne Fluke Lake Eden cookbook. So recipes that have not been in the rest are in a cookbook as well. I also like these ones. Let me move that. This is the Chocolate Caper Murders, Joanna Carl. I've not got all of these. I need to find out which ones I am missing and sort out the rest of them. I tend to buy most of them in paperback, or if I've got Amazon vouchers. That's how I've been able to get these. So if I do my surveys online, if you've heard about me talk about my surveys, that's what I spend some of my time doing, is doing my surveys online. If you want to know about my surveys, email me. So trying to get by 2021@gmail.com, and I will send you a list of the different surveys that I use. Now, one of them I found out recently, I've been doing for about 18 years in total. That's mad that I've spent so much time doing surveys. But since, I got I was getting my second laptop, and I was on the internet and I was learning about money saving. I used to go on what website? The Dollar Stretcher. I think it's still possibly going, but I used to go on there and they mentioned something about surveys, and I was like, okay, let's do that. So I've probably earned a few £1,000s in surveys over the past however many years. So some of the surveys pay you in cash. Some of them will pay you in vouchers. It all depends. So I trade them in sometimes for Tesco vouchers or Amazon vouchers. So whichever way I can get the best value from them. So Amazon vouchers, save up, spend them on a variety of different things, but very often they get spent on my books when those come out. We did spend vouchers and we built a barbecue a while back, and I used some of my Amazon vouchers to buy the bricks. So I never knew you could buy bricks on Amazon. We bought bricks. That was completely mad seeing these bricks turn up, thinking I bought those from Amazon. Anyway, so I do love reading. So I do like murder mysteries. I don't like deep, dark murder mysteries. I'm not a Linda LaPlante fan, anything like that. I want light-hearted, sounds terrible, doesn't it? Light-hearted murders. Something that's a bit more gentle. Think Murder, She Wrote. Those kinds of stories. They're perfect for me. I also have, obviously, if we go a bit further down, got a range of cookbooks that I have got together over the years. So, of course, we've got Delia. These Lean-In 15s I managed to get for £1 each from a charity shop. So I will get them from charity shops or presents. Chris got me the little black book. This is brilliant. This is the pastry chef's dream. If you want to know about any kind of pastries, this is the one to go for. We've also got other, there's a Nigella in there. These are my pastry recipes from college. So we've got those in there. We've got some Pinch of None ones, all sorts. Hairy Dieters, oh bless them, my mother-in-law gave me this one, and we've recently lost poor Dave last week. That was so sad. We'd been watching on television the Hairy Bikers Go West, and then to find out that he passed away a couple of days after we'd started watching that just tore us up a little bit. And then down here we have got a little section on the old frugal living, budgeting, paying less for anything. Where are my other ones? Are they hiding behind here? Yes, they're hiding. Let me just move this box out of the way. Oh, here we go. Frugal books, Extraordinary People, Extraordinary Miserly Meals, they're good. This one, The Millionaire Next Door, was a really good read. Oh, I've just found another one. We've got the Cheapskate Monthly. That was a good one. That first taught me about sinking funds. I hadn't heard of sinking funds before. It was just everything went in a savings account, not allocated. And finding things to be allocated was so much better. We are sci-fi fans. So I have got my William Shatner book, my George Takei book as well, and some Star Wars. So I'm a Trek and a Star Wars fan. Yes, you are allowed to be both. So while we're in the dining room, yes, here's our current jigsaw. We like comedy jigsaws. They're always a bit more fun. So this one is a movie one. So we are partway through that. Let me show you. So we're not massively into it at the moment, but we're getting there. I got this for Christmas off a friend of mine, so I'm partway through this. I've never done a paint by numbers before, ever, and it is really good. I'm really enjoying it. But you think, I don't know, is there a specific way you're meant to do these? I tend to just focus on one colour at a time and try and paint all the bits of that one colour. But then you go back into it and realise that you've missed bits, particularly, you see the size of some of these. They are so tiny. How am I meant to read that? I have to put my glasses on. They are super tiny. Well, I had recorded this last section of the video already, and then when I went to do my editing, I found out that my microphone had died. So I've been waiting for the past hour for it to charge up. So we're ready to finish this video. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it answered some of the questions that you had. If you have any more questions, let me know in the comments below and maybe we can do a part 2. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please do the usual, liking and the subscribing, and watch out for a video that I'm posting here or here. One of them is going to be this month's grocery video. The other one's going to be the vegetable parcels that I've recently made. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.